First, I share Aboru Aboye Aboshishe to all the Babalawos and the Yalorisha throughout the world. First time, if the person go to Babalawo or Iyanifa, the first thing that they will do for the person is to consult, to make IFA reading. So after the reading, now IFA will tell us all the necessary things that the person needs to do.
The importance of IFA divination is like Yoruba says, Aberiona Kishina. What does that mean? It means the ones that ask for direction does not get lost.
When
you're going before IFA or going before the IFA priest, they are doing an analysis into your Ori, a spiritual analysis into your Ori, which is in connection with Oromila.
We says you don't have 16 elders and still be struggling as though you have no one. So we have 16 major odus of IFA. So Yoruba says, if you have 16 elders of we need the 16 odus of IFA, you don't have to struggle through life as though you are alone.
That connection, we're able to download basically your blueprint, what's going on into your psyche, into your mind, into your physical mind, but also your heavenly, your spiritual mind. You know, the mind that we tend to ignore.
If something is very bad or you want to destroy, they will consult IFA.
Many people just know that it just came to heart to play, to fun, to have fun, to do anything. Not when Olodumare created people, he have what is importance of being on earth of that person.
You know, the divination is going to give you, go straight to the point as to what the problem is and then provide a solution.
Is a divination chain. It's very, very important in Babalawo. Those are the reasons, those are the things that we know that to make you know the difference between Babalawo and then herbalist. In fact, because herbalists don't throw up divination, they don't use up as their divinations. They use cowries. So those use cowries for divination, or those use collars, some use collar for divination. Some use other things for divination. They are different from Babalawo.
When we say IFA says this, IFA says that, how do we even approach IFA healing? We have 256 odus of Ifa, you know, and within those 256 odus of Ifa, that is how we could attain the wisdom and could derive the knowledge, the wisdom, the healing of Ifa. So if there is any categorization for Ifa, it is encapsulated in all those 256 odu.
When you are casting Ifa, or you are doing casting Ifa and making sacrifice, Ifa will let you know the purpose of being in the art. You understand that? So the second is for understanding of life.
We have 16 major odus and their combinations, which I approach objectively per se, brings about the healing and everything that Ifa comes with.
So third, protection. Ifa will protect you from dangers.
The Ifa will tell the Babalawo how to handle his problem, how to handle his life. So after the divination, now Ifa will tell the Babalawo or Iyanifa all the necessary sacrifice that the person needs to do to make done, to make the person have peace of mind and for long life and prosperity.
It's good for someone to consult Ifa, to know more about his life, his or her life, to know where he's going.
When you make Ifa divination, it is your way of actually holding the steering wheel that guides your destiny in life. So when you make Ifa divination, you have some clarity and guidances about life so that you know what to do and when to do it. So, and I think that is what people, that is the scramble of life. You see people researching. Why are they researching? Because they want to know. There is privilege in knowing. Because when you know, you could do.
And Ifa is always talking, when you consulted Ifa will always telling you 3 words. What I mean about that is that Ifa will tell you, Ifa will let you know your present situations, your past situations, and Ifa will also talk about your future.
And when you're casting the Ikin, so definitely you want to know the real deep of it, of the problem or what you want to ask in the Ifa. So when you cast, you use the divination. When you use the Ikin for your divination, it will be very, very perfect, and you'll be very, very get the result.
Whatever Ifa is telling that person what they need to focus on, then that's when the Ifa priest does investigation into the person's life, into the person's situation, and from that investigation, also the communication with Okwele and Ifa and the Orishas. That's when we know, the Ifa priest will know specifically what prescription, what eba has to be done to ensure that the person's life is successful.
Before marriage, if I will be consult whether I should marry this woman or not, it is Ifa that will be decided. So before a house can be made, I'm going to build a house in this place. Should I go there or not? If I will consult.
But if I may say that you will be born one child, and that child will be the child of Shango. Always do this thing before that child is coming. You know that child is not never coming. Even that person, he may not have wife if it's mine, or that if it's woman, he may not have pregnant. He that time, but if I be told. But sometimes if I may be talking that something will be happening in the lives, like many times it's coming that life will be like this. Life would be like this.
Whenever you have anything that got in your mind, you are stabilized and everything, go to IFA. This consult on it. If I will reveal, this is what you need to do. This is what is happening to you. Do this, that. Then problem goes.
So when people make Ifa divination is not, I know people want to hear, oh, you wear black shirt yesterday, you wear t-shirt. That is what moves some people when they see the, how do I even call it, the psychic aspect of Ifa. Ifa has it, but that's not the major importance of Ifa divination.
Our holy men believe in the aura and speaking. By speaking something, we are invocate a natural force. We are invocate a spiritual being to come to serve what we need them to do at that moment. Maybe we are in the problem, maybe we are in happy, or whatever we have been doing. The chanting of Ifa is a way of communicating with Orunmila and Almighty Oludumare.
Ifa divination is like you going to hospital for spiritual checkup, for medical checkup. You don't have to be sick to do that. You have to be proactive about life. You might know what you need to stop eating. You might know what you need to start eating. Ifa divination many times is to provide guidances for some things we don't know, because we are definitely not alone on earth.
You may go into Babalawo's place or contact them to get Idafa for you. They will not know what you are making consultation for or about. So you may be going there to make Idafa because you are looking for child. And the story of the fasces, the Babalawo will truly let you know what, even if you don't tell them what you consulted Ifa about, Ifa will tell them and they will let you know.
We have different energies that determines the quality of our life and our way and our station in life. Ifa divination gives us the opportunity not to just be getting tossed around as a consequence of the happenings in this spiritual and metaphysical aspect of life.
Ifa is the computer system that they're using is a binary coded system, and those codes we're able to decode and put it in a way that is understandable for you to live and for you to practice, practically as well as spiritually.
So how how you want to know about what you make at the heaven. If you want to know what you make at the heaven, you must be go and consult Ifa. You must be have your own neighbor.
But the healing comes forth. And how do you attain this healing? It is from the messages and the guidances you receive from one of these 256 Odus of Ifa.
You know, that's some reason why majority of people are coming to Ifa nowadays. You know, when they have misunderstood something or they find their ways, they don't know what to go, they don't know what to do, they will definitely come to Ifa. Because the reason why they came is Ifa is words of Olodumare. Ifa will tell you your past, your present, and your futures.
So Ifa divination gives you the opportunity, provides guidances that could determine your next course of actions. And those actions could determine how you could lead your life. So that is what I could call the importance of Ifa divination. We have different contexts, but that is the guiding principles behind it in the first place.
Ebo is so powerful for human life. Ebo is working for good luck, great union in marriage, protection. Ebo is also protects human from bad evil, from Iyami and Elenini.
When he's able to do so, and the other things they tell him to do, if he's able to do so, there will be victory for him. So in these phases of Ifa, so when he is able to make a sacrifice and do the other things they tell him to do, so when he go to the war, he will be able to have a victory.
Ifa provides solution measures. Solution measures can be called Ebo or Etutu. That's the terminology that binds them. That's why if you go to a divining priest, they will say, oh, if I recommend this Ebo, if I recommend that Ebo, Ebo is the terminology for the solution measures that follows Ifa divination.
The Ebo, in our belief, is a key that can open the door for a goodness thing. It's also a padlock that can block what can make problem from the human being.
Torí gbogbo tá ń lò ní ìsìn, irinṣẹ́ is a handwork of the wire. So by this, it is good for the government to give us support to expand on what we are doing on it. Because when we are doing it, which is very, very long time we have started, we see the result that is helpful. Because we must take care of because of exposure of the wire.
Gbogbo Babalawo ìbáyín o àdáṣe àlàsí kẹjẹbọ wọn nígbà yọdà báyìí Ifá dákun dábọ̀ kẹfì dénú Ọ̀rúnmìlà kẹfì dẹkùn Ifá kẹfì dẹkùn kẹfì dẹkùn gbára mo ló fún.
Of what importance? What are the rationale? Ebo is our ways of making atonement to put balance and equilibrium in the metaphysical life, which determines and defines our situation in life, be it we are sick, be it we are well, be it we are going to a particular destination, be it we have some needs, be it we have some wants. Ebo is the solution measure that induces and triggers these benefits from occurring.
The bar is a form of prayer. So when you're doing the air bars, it's a combination of materials, it's a combination of prayers, it's a combination of positive energy. It's a combination of the materials, either food materials, money, materials that are linked to the verses that the Ifa priests, the Babalawo, the Iyanifa are chanting.
So the ebo is working. Our forefathers, they had tried. They're working, they're fighting for us because they're making the ebo to make everything easy for us.
And now they will let you know all the necessary ebo to be done to make your ways to come through. And after making the ebo, you will see the good result of consulted Ifa.
Ebo, sacrifice. Sacrifice is very good. Because sacrifice, if a person make a sacrifice now, there are some evil spirits. Maybe evil spirit want to enter that person's house, or he want to conquer him. So the ebo, the sacrifice, is the one to fight for that person, for the evil spirit not to enter his house. So like one Ifa said in his Odu, Obarameji, Ifa ni kese letinri, kasa ń bọ̀ lọ́nà, tiri kasa ń bọ̀ lọ́nà, baba kese, adiva fún àdìgbò ni wọ́n rán, tí ń sọmọkùnrin ìgbópò sí Olódùmarè.
Once you are able to share one or two things with others, maybe as you are now, we can say, maybe I didn't have something, I come to you. Please, can I get this thing from you? Once, because I'm suffer from that things, and you are able to provide that thing for me, you make ebo.
Ìfọ̀bà yín ṣe o, àgbébọ̀ adìyẹ, eku, ẹja, Ifá gbà lọ́wọ́ yín ní o, obì, kọ́kàn yín ọba lẹ̀. Ìfọ̀bà yín ṣe eku gbóyán ṣẹ́ o.
Giving us priority, long life, and stop the fire exposure between our community. So that is why we create that. How are we going to notify them unless we create time and we are going to do it? And when we see everybody, we know that this is the time you can burn bush or we can burn this. You cannot affect the others. So that is how we create the leper. Not on my head. It won't start long time before me. I come to be top person. So that is that.
Because when you look deep, nothing new is happening. Technology might be flashing, but the basic concept behind it, the basic concept behind everything that is happening, is the same thing.
So when we look at that verses, that verses let us know the importance of ebo in the life of human being. Because when you are facing some difficulties and you are able to go and consult the Babalawo that I don't know how the thing is going, everything's just be somehow, and I want to know the grassroots of the problem, and I want to see the way out.
And when they are consulted Ifa for you and you make the ebo, you will definitely see the changes. I'll see the good results of what you consulted Ifa about. You know, the importance of making the find is a lot.
The importance of ebo, it is used to save human being from the evil things. And ebo itself, when we're looking at it, so we can state many things about ebos, which we know as a sacrifice.
So ebo is an atonement measure is a transaction that we use to negotiate with these energies. If it is good energy, ebo is a transaction. Everything.
The verses give indication to what prescription that's needed to ensure that the person who is coming for divination, we know what the prescription is, so that the ebars can help to shift one's circumstances to positive.
You can just divert. You could divert them, you could induce them to attract you, whether they are good or bad. You could avert them if they are bad. You could, induce them if they are good. But it is transactional. There will be an exchange. Ebo is an exchange whereby you can use to attract the blessings, the good energies, or to avert the negative energies. But as a consequence of life, whether you make Ebo or not, we are vulnerable to energies. But we are Eniriri. As an Olorisha, some people in the spirituality, we regard ourselves as people who stay inside of Iri. We want to do our possible best to use it, to induce it, to attract it, and to share it.
Ẹbọ jẹ́ nǹkan pàtàkì tí wọ́n bá dá Ifá tán. Tí àwọn babaláwo bá dá Ifá tán, ohun tí bàbá sọ, ohun tí fọ́wọ́kọ́ sọ ni pé kí wọ́n wú ẹbọ. Ẹbọ ní ọkọ̀ ṣáájú. Tí wọ́n bá wúbọ tán, ẹbọ ni yóò tán gbogbo òṣòwò. Bóyá ènìyàn bóyá ojú ajé ń pọ́n ni o, bóyá ń sunkún ni o, bóyá ń lálàkàlà, bóyá kò rí ọmọ bí ni. Tí wọ́n bá dá Ifá tán, èyí tí fò sọ fún wọn ni pé kí wọ́n lọ rúbọ. Lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí Ifá bá sọ fún wọn pé kí wọ́n rúbọ tán, àwọn òrìṣà tó bá kù tó bá yẹ kí wọ́n bọ kí wọ́n ṣe wàá mọ̀ tọ́ka sí pé kí wọ́n bọ. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹbọ ni nǹkan àkọ́kọ́ tí àwọn babaláwo bá dá Ifá tán, ẹbọ ni wọ́n wù tí ó jẹ́ olùtọ́nà tí ó sì jẹ́ tí ó tán ìṣòro ẹ̀dá tí jẹ́ pé ìgbé ayé rọrùn yóò fi dé.
But the system of performing Ebo is furious. You can perform Ebo when we cast Ifa.
Abowa, ngbo sai nínú ngbo agba, nba ma jigede awo ayé, nba ma jigede awo odi o, nba ma jigede.
Ebo atones the energy. It puts the energy into, the conversation could start with energy. So in Yoruba spirituality, we believe we have two forms of energies. We have Ire and we have Ajogun. And Ire, we have different types of Ire. Ire means blessings. Ajogun means negative energies. Ire means good energies. They have their equal right to life. Olodumare is the supreme being. The Creator gave them the power. As a matter of fact, they demonstrate the balance of life. To be born is to die. There are days you cry, there are days you smile. There are days you'll be of health, there are days you will be healed. And as a consequence of being alive, you will experience both energies.
We're combining that earth and heaven connection through the prayer, through the Eba, through the materials, and once that combination is fused together, then we're able to shift and change energy. This world is constantly changing, is evolving, is forming, it's real. Everything has life in it. So when we're doing that incantation, when the Babalawo is pushing that incantation and praying for that person, praying that all these blessings that is destined for this person come through, through the prayer, through the Eba.
Ire or Ajogun. So under Ire we have Aiku. Aiku means to remain alive, longevity. And at the pinnacle of the negative energy is Iku. Iku means death, to be dead. Because if you can only experience every other blessings or even every other negative energy if you are alive. So we have Iku, we have Ajay. We have Ajay means abundance, wealth. We have abundance, we have families, we have victory. And on the other spectrum of Ajogun, the negative energy, we have Iku, death, we have Arun, illnesses, we have Ija, and the wrath, fight, we have Ofo, loss, so on and so forth. So Ifa does not just provide the information about what's going on. Ifa provides solution measures. Solution measures can be called Ebo or Itutu. That's the terminology that binds them. That's why if you go to a divining priest, they will say, oh, if I recommend this ebo, if I recommend that ebo, ebo is the terminology for the solution measures that follows IFA divination. So it begs the question, why do we make ebo? Of what importance? What are the rationale? Ebo is our ways of making atonement. So when we make ebo, we just want more iri as much as possible, and to avert ajogun, push it as much as possible. We can't kill energy, but we can manipulate them. So ebo itutu is an opportunity to just is a means of exchange, and people call it sacrifice. Well, it is sacrifice in some sort of way because you will expend yourself through some resources. So, but every sacrifice always leads to some particular goals. So it is to yield those goals that we desire.
So, when that airborne is accepted, the thing we do ebo for it, that thing must be successful. If somebody gets sick, when IFA consulted, how this man will be ill, if I will say we should make a sacrifice, that is ebo.
So ebo is as important as making divination. And people always think ebo is about buying things or doing things all the time. For this interview, we've made some ebo. In the context of ebo, we want to do this. You brought the camera. That is some ebo. You've done some things.
For example, in the verses, it could talk about story of the person, what happened to them, what their situation was, what their problem was, and then the person going for a divination, and then Orunmila prescribing what the ebar is. Or there's a lot of things that we have to do as well to solve the problem. It's not just like you can't just go to IFA and do the ebar and then not follow what the directives are, which is coming from the reading or the divination.
How this man will be ill, if I will say we should make a sacrifice, that is ebo. We can use a veau, we can use a dog, we can use a goat, rams, and so on. Wherever we place that ebo to, when it is accepted, that person will receive his health, will recover his health. That means the ebo is being accepted.
It is not only when you put something down, put the whole on top of it, you are making ebo. Ebo is part of what we are saying, what we are doing right now. As we are eating something, we are doing ebo.
Eba is a form of prayer. Eba is a strong form of prayer.
We can consult Opele, and Opele will decide the type of ebo that should be done. So when we make that ebo, it may be to take it to issue. It may be to take it at a square place. It may be to take it to the river. It may be to take it to the rock, or wherever.
And the ebo itself, when we're looking at it, so we can state many things about ebos, which we know as a sacrifice. We use it is not only when you put something down, put the whole on top of it, you are making ebo. Ebo is part of what we are saying, what we are doing right now. As we are eating something, we are doing ebo. Once you are able to share one or two things with others, maybe as you are now, we can say, maybe I didn't have something, I come to you. Please, can I get this thing from you? Once, because I'm suffer from that things, and you are able to provide that thing for me, you make ebo. Because you are comfortable of that things in that moment. But I didn't. Just only because you are able to provide that thing for me in that moment, in the times of needs, so you make ebo.
ẹja lọ níjẹ ẹdùnmọdọ ní orí ẹja ní ọmọ mọgbà orí ẹja ní ọmọ mọgbà ẹwé adó mọmọ àti kú gborí àwò orí ẹja ní ọmọ mọgbà orí ẹja ní ọmọ mọgbà orí.
Ire or Ajogun. So under Ire we have Aiku. Aiku means to remain alive, longevity. And at the pinnacle of the negative energy is Iku. Iku means death, to be dead. Because if you can only experience every other blessings or even every other negative energy if you are alive. So we have Iku, we have Ajay. We have Ajay means abundance, wealth. We have abundance, we have families, we have victory. And on the other spectrum of Ajogun, the negative energy, we have Iku, death, we have Arun, illnesses, we have Ija, and the wrath, fight, we have Ofo, loss, so on and so forth. So Ebo is an atonement measure is a transaction that we use to negotiate with these energies. If it is good energy, Ebo is a transaction. Everything, no energy is just there. It's transactional. Everything about energy is transactional. You can just divert. You could divert them. You could induce them to attract you, whether they are good or bad. You could avert them if they are bad. You could, induce them if they are good. But it is transactional. There will be an exchange.
And after they are making the definition, that's called Idafa in Yoruba language. After that, they need to prepare for sacrifice. They will tell the person how is life going, how is destiny, what is destiny wants, and what is destiny don't want in his life.
And everything is now depend your destiny. As you going up, your destiny is follow. That's why you need to make it able time to time. Because sometimes it's like you planning that, this year I want to do something like this. So, and your destiny say it's like this, what you want to do that year is coming, like you need to do that thing like in next 2 or 3 years. And you planning to do that, you see that thing will be changed. But the helping of the able, if this used to be happening in the next 3 years, it's going to be happening in the year before that. That is the working of able.
Ebo is an exchange whereby you can use to attract the blessings, the good energies, or to avert the negative energies. But as a consequence of life, whether you make Ebo or not, we are vulnerable to energies. But we are Eniriri. As an Olorisha, some people in the spirituality, we regard ourselves as people who stay inside of Iri. We want to do our possible best to use it, to induce it, to attract it, and to share it.
But now, what we are seeing now, it is enemy of the progress of the day. But when we are looking to it now very well, this many type of sickness come. nothing will take care of it.
àwọn gba ògòdòǹgòdò bí ògòdòǹgòdò ràdà òkòkò ló sún tán tó fẹsẹ̀ méjèèjì rẹ̀ tẹ̀tẹ̀ tó bá fún agbóra tí ń sẹ́mọ̀ sọ́jà yìí ó ní báwo ló gba ayé òsín ní gbóhùn báwo.
We deal with healing on a way higher African spirituality level, which that information was passed down from our elders, from our ancestors.
You see, take glue, take copper mold, mouth, don't smell, don't say. The lie, we forget the culture. That is why things happen. When they are working in the farm very well, you get pepper. All what you are going to cook, you bring it from farm. But through the farming we are doing now, we don't kill all those things that are giving us vitamin. We don't kill it no more. We just chop what we see now. We are not following the diet. We dey pray to God might for any oldest father like me and mother like me, keep our incoming child. Because we don't go far. God will help us.
Somebody, maybe you don't have money, or you be looking for the wife, looking for the husband, or whatever. When the father is being consulted, it is the father that will decide what type of able to be done for that person to solve his own problem or our problem. That is mostly important of able.
So when we make ebo, we just want more ire as much as possible, and to avert ajogun, push it as much as possible. We can't kill energy, but we can manipulate them. So ebo etutu is an opportunity to is a means of exchange, and people call it sacrifice. Well, it is sacrifice in some sort of way because you will expend yourself through some resources. So, but every sacrifice always leads to some particular goals. So it is to yield those goals that we desire.
You know, specific materials, specific things that are prescribed or wanted by the Orisha. You know, the sacrifice, the offering, you know, what they need in order to make sure that your life is successful. So, for example, a part of the offering, a part of the eba could be honey. You need to get the material of honey. And for those that are IFA practitioners, we know that honey has a symbolic meaning.
bẹ́ẹ̀ la tọwọ́ sí jẹ lọ́wọ́ wọlé wá fa àgbà àgbà sáwò dé gbẹ̀yìn mọ́ tá a bá wò bọ́ tán tá a bá gbẹ̀yìn rẹ̀ kì í tún ní àgbà ló mọ̀ gbẹ̀yìn lágbà lédè tó tá a bá wò bọ́ tán tí gbogbo eré bá gbẹ̀yìn rẹ̀ kì í tún ní àgbà ló mọ̀ gbẹ̀yìn lágbà lédè ìgbẹ́jọ́ gbẹ̀yìn ẹ̀bọ̀ yìí bẹ́ẹ̀ jẹ́ kájọ ayọ̀ gbà báyìí fún ẹ bá a sí báyìí.
We taste honey as sweet, so when that honey is added into the eba, it's helping by the prayers that are being made, the incantation by the Babalawo, Iyanifa, Ifa priests, or Orisha priests. You know, when they're praying on that mat, on the mat, on the upon in front of the client, or just praying on behalf of the client, or praying on behalf of the devotee, praying on whoever, that essence in connection with the symbolic meaning of what that honey stands for, you know, we're putting that, evoking that change.
So ebo is as important as making divination. And people always think ebo is about buying things or doing things all the time. For this interview, we've made some ebo. In the context of ebo, we want to do this. You brought the camera. That is some ebo, you've done some things.
Agbomoru, otilekun mola. Ada arune ebo, aruda ne degberi. If you refuse to make ebo, the problem will not solve. But if he or she continue to do the ebo, the problem will later or sooner totally solve.
by the incantation and then also the physical aspect of that material. You know, we live on a physical plane, so we know that whatever we do is real, is tangible. So there has to be physical materials, you know, like we're on earth and then we're connecting, the prayer is connecting to Orumila, is connected to Eshu, is connecting to the Orishas, which then connects to the person and also connects to the Babalawo, the Iyanifa, who is the medium between human being and Olodumare, Ifa. So we're combining that earth and heaven connection through the prayer, through the Eba, through the materials, and once that combination is fused together, then we're able to shift and change energy.
Ifa is not only for Oromila. Ifa is not only for the Oromila, but it's the Oromila bring this word, this force of Olodumare to this earth, from the heaven to this earth. But this word is talking about all the Iromales. It's talking about all the Iromales, Shango, Oshun, Obatala, Eshu, all of them.
Yes.
This world is constantly changing, is evolving, is forming, it's real. Everything has life in it. So when we're doing that incantation, the Babalawo is, you know, pushing that incantation and praying for that person, praying that all these blessings that is destined for this person come through.
You cannot separate Ifa from the Iromale or Orisha. You cannot separate them. All of them, they are going together. Likewise, the culture, they are going together because they are coming from the heaven. It's true. They let us know that when they are coming from the heaven, this heart is full of water. It's full of water, and it is one Odu talking about the life is full. This heart is full of water, and as Olodumare sent them, the Obatala is the person that is lead all the Iromale from the heaven to the heart. As the Obatala be the leader, but the Ogun is the Orisha that is clear the road, you know, clear the road for them.
The passing through, I'm just saying, like, you know, we are being initiated in each Orisa, like Ogun, so that will bring more trust in each other. That puts more trust in each other.
That is why they are used to making the Oriki for Ogun. That Ogun Olulana, Ogun Olulana, Ogun Lolana láti òde ọ̀run wá sóde Ṣàlàyé. That means Ogun is the person that is open the way.
No, you talk about oath. But I'm saying, for you to be able to stand in front of Ogun like this, you have been making oaths already.
From the heaven to the earth. Ogun Lolana láti òde ọ̀run wá sóde Ṣàlàyé. Ogun is the Orisha that is open the way from the heaven to the earth, and all the Romans follow that way.
Even before you say it out, or if someone asking you out to come and do it with him, and you know, if you have been together in this, you know, this is an powerful Orisha. I get what I'm saying. This is a powerful Orisha. You have to be knowing that even before you guys are doing oaths or making oaths, you guys should not betray each other.
So that's why also now we also try to helping our community Babalawo to make the truth, to make the world know the truth about Ifa, to let the world know that Ifa is a real, to know that Ifa is alive. The word of Ifa is something that every person needs to know, every person needs to talk about it, and when they thought it, they will not regret it.